"My name is Gary Cosler," he said. "Don't waste my time," I snapped, trying to sound strong and unafraid. "That's a human name. That's the name of your host body. But I know what you really are." He nodded. "All right. My name is Estlin-359, and you are Ximli, a young Andalite warrior cadet, brother of Beast Elfangor. See, I heard the last few minutes of your touching conversation. Beast Elfangor? Is that the Yeerk name for my brother?" "Your brother is dead," Estlin snapped, "and so is the one creature in all the galaxy that I cared about." Her name was Duran-344. "And do you know what they have in common, your brother and my Duran?" "No. What does my brother have in common with a Yeerk?" Estlin's face twisted in an expression of rage. "They were both killed by the same being." "Visser 3? "As I said, you and I have a lot in common, Andalite." He struggled to gain control over his human face, but his jaw was twitching as he explained. "You Andalite bandits did a lot of damage by destroying the Kandrona. There is widespread starvation. The most important Yeerks, those in vital positions, or those whom the Visser happen to favor, are being shuttled back and forth to the mothership every 3 days. They get a minimal dose of Kandrona rays, enough to keep them alive." "Do you expect me to feel badly?" I asked. "No, I expect the usual Andalite self-righteousness and hypocrisy from you," Estlin spat. "Andalites, meddlers of the galaxy." "Do not anger me, Yeerk. I said I would listen. I did not say I would let you spew Yeerk poison." Estlin made a grim smile. "I knew you'd come. As soon as I saw the new software, I said to myself, 'Aha! Not the usual clumsy human effort, this. An Andalite corrected this software. An Andalite who wanted to use the radio telescope as a Z-space transmitter. I've been waiting for you. I knew you'd come." "And here I am," I said. I felt like a fool. Of course the Yeerks would have one of their own people in the position at the observatory. It was obvious. I'd been an idiot. An idiot! "My Duran. We came from the same pool. We went through training together. She and I... We had been together for a long time. We were very close. She understood me. But I had this important post at the observatory, while Duran was given a minor post. When you Andalite bandits destroyed the ground-based Kandrona, Visser 3 moved quickly. He said everyone would survive. He said he had found a way, but he lied. Too many Yeerks, not enough Kandrona rays. It was simple division. So he shuttled so-called important controllers up to the mothership. And the rest?" "Was your Duran one of the ones killed?" "She was expendable," Esplin said. Then he smiled. "I've had some small revenge already. The Visser's favorites are shuttled up to the mothership every 3 days to feed. I sabotaged one of the shuttles. That threw off the feeding schedule. Now some of the Visser's friends are starving and dying. Ah, the wonders of shades of grey. The Andalites are dicks, and the Yeerks have compassion for one another. We're gradually stepping away from the comic book roles the series started with into a world with far more realistic morality. So Estlin wants Visser 3 dead for what he did to his girlfriend, and tells Axe of a patch of mountains Visser 3 occasionally hangs around in for me time. Axe and Tobias leave, and the rest of the Animorphs confront him one last time. Things get superheated, and Axe, in a moment of hyper-confused emotions, more or less leaves the group. To sum up his situation, Axe's Andalite customs have alienated himself from his human companions, his Andalite leaders have forced him into a scrapgoat position, and now his own father is using Andalite honor to force his own son into a confrontation with Visser 3, which will surely result in Axe's death. Axe, get your stock eyes out of your ass and see the big picture here. So Axe slips into Visser 3's little special place and lays his trap. He morphs the rattlesnake from earlier, and when Visser 3 comes to smell the flowers, Axe bites him and makes a run for it in the woods. As Visser 3 weakens from the poison, Axe tries to demorph as quickly as he can to finish the job, but gets cornered by a Hork-Bajir bodyguard. Fortunately, Rachel and Grizzly Bear Morph jumps in at the nick of time and knocks the Hork-Bajir's lights out. Turns out all the Animorphs are there, having followed Axe despite him telling them not to, because, you see, the Animorphs are not dicks. The Animorphs quickly dispatch of the Hork-Bajir guards, but before they can take out Visser 3, the Yeerk inside the Andalite's head crawls out and falls into a nearby stream, swimming to safety. That leaves Axe and the Andalite whom Visser 3 controls, Aloran Semitor Koras. Aloran begs Axe to kill him, but young Axe's foundation have been shaken over these events and he can't. Realizing this, Aloran then tells Axe to send a message to his family. Axe agrees, and the Animorphs are chased off by Yeerk reinforcements. A few days later, Axe tells the Animorphs the whole story. Many years ago, Andalites discovered the primitive homeworld of the Yeerks. An Andalite prince named Ciro, feeling sorry for the weak state of the Yeerks, gave them technology. In return, the Yeerks escaped their planet and spread across the galaxy, taking over civilization after civilization. Ciro was shamed, and a new law named Ciro's Kindness was written, proclaiming that no Andalite will give any information to any other alien species. So, basically, the Yeerks are the Andalites' fault. I saw Rachel make a small smile and shake her head. Marco rolled his eyes. He said, "Man, and I was really getting into disliking you, Axe." I was confused. I expected them to be furious. Instead, they reached smiling. "Don't you understand? Your world is threatened by the Yeerks because of my people." Prince Jake nodded. "Yes, we understand, Axe. A long time ago, someone tried to be nice, and it was a disaster. This Ciro person tried to be a good guy. He hoped all the different people of the galaxy would get along, that we'd all go to the stars together. Yes, and the results was terrible." "Axe, you don't stop hoping just because it doesn't always work out," Cassie said. "You get more careful. You get wiser, maybe, but you keep hoping." "Look, Axe," Prince Jake said, "we don't want you to give us any Andalite technology. We don't want you to break your laws. We just want you to trust us. Tell us the truth. Be one of us." "You aren't alone, Axe," Cassie said softly. "Maybe we aren't your people, but we are your friends." "Your boy Ciro wasn't wrong," Marco said. "He just hooked up with the wrong species. We aren't the Yeerks. We're Homo sapiens, Jack. Humans. Andalites want someone to cruise the stars with them. We're the ones. You bring the spaceships, we'll bring the raisinets and cinnamon buns." "You'll do more than that," I said. "You'll learn very quickly. Someday you may be greater than the Andalites." "No," Prince Jake said, "because whatever we learn, you'll learn. We'll do it together. Human and Andalite. Andalite and human." "It isn't possible," I said. "We are two different species, from two different worlds, a billion Earth miles apart." "Axeman," Tobias said, "tell me, what does an Andalite want most? What is it that you guys are fighting for?" "For freedom, of course," I said. "And what do humans want most?" Tobias asked. "Freedom," Prince Jake said. "Freedom," Rachel said, nodding her head. "Freedom," said Marco and Cassie together. "Freedom," Tobias said. "Different bodies, different species, maybe. But who cares? We agree on what matters." For a few minutes I said nothing. I guess I felt a little overwhelmed. Then I realized something that made me laugh. "See? It's happening already," I said. "What?" Rachel asked. "You humans are already teaching Andalites something new," I said. "You're right. We fight the same battle, for the same goal." "The Andalites on your homeworld may not like that idea," Rachel said. "No, they won't. They have their laws and customs. They think they know what's right. If I ever go home, I'll have a lot to explain." "Maybe so," Tobias said, "but I know one Andalite who would have been proud of you." "Are you with us?" Prince Jake asked. "Yes, Prince Jake," I said. "Don't call me Prince." "Yes, Prince Jake," I said again.
Gonna make the world safe for democracy, aren't you?
What is democracy?
Well, I was never very clear on it myself. Like every other kind of government, it's got something to do with young men killing each other, I believe.
Why don't old men kill each other?
Well, the old men are needed to keep the home fires burning.
Couldn't the young men do that just as well?
Young men don't have homes. That's why they must go out and kill each other.
When it comes my turn, will you want me to go?
For democracy, any man would give his only begotten son.
Back on track. This here is a rightful introduction to Axe. The character has largely been a caricatured, battle-loving warrior up to this point, but now that we're allowed into his insecurities and inner mind, Axe reveals himself to be much more of a frightened child, unprepared for the real world. Both the Andalites and the Yeerks have been given much more dimension than before, as we see the fallibility of the previously thought all-righteous Andalites and the emotional core of the previously thought all-evil Yeerks. The waters are only going to get muddier from here. This book is less of a things-happening book and more of a character development piece, and when reading the series in order, it offers a nice rest period from the action-heavy Megamorphs #1. The only real issue I take with it is the general idiotic things the Animorphs do to try and educate Axe early on in the book. They should be smarter by now than to send Axe to school. But, all in all, a really solid entry. I give Animorphs number 8, The Alien, an 8 out of 10.
Teach your children well, 'cause their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they fix, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh.